Hello everyone, I'm Raven from Raven Comics, and today we'll find out who would win in a fight between Batman and Superman if both fought seriously without holding back, with the match orchestrated by Bat-Mite and Mr. Mix-Mxyzptlk. We start with the fifth dimension imp, Mr. Mix-Mxyzptlk. If you asked him who would win between Batman and Superman, the answer would be quite easy. In fact, Batman poses no threat, so Superman would easily defeat him. Bat-Mite interrupts, asking what he's talking about. Batman is the world's greatest detective, a trained fighter, and rich. Batman has all the gadgets. All of them. Superman? What does he bring? Just a pair of glasses. The imp retorts that Superman is the greatest hero in the multiverse. He is the superhero. He's faster, stronger, and doesn't need silly gadgets because he has every power imaginable. Does Bat-Mite even realize how tough Superman is? For Bat-Mite, that just explains why Batman has sent Superman packing so many times. Batman would have made Superman eat that hat of his years ago. For Mr. Mix-Mxyzptlk, there's only one way to determine who's harder to beat, Batman or Superman. That means they're going to have a showdown. The Man of Steel versus the Dark Knight. First up is Bat-Mite. He wants everyone to witness the master at work in a tale. He calls what happened to the man who destroyed everything. And so, we begin this story on a stormy night, filled with thunder and lightning. Lois asks Clark what's going on. Superman doesn't know. He can't even remember how he got to this place. Superboy appears with his parents. He's returned from the future, and the world is ending. Superman tells him not to worry. Earth's mightiest heroes are working on it in the Hall of Justice. Meanwhile, shortly after, we shift to the Hall of Justice, where Mr. Terrific informs Clark that he wishes he had better news. They've been working day and night on this. He's never seen anything like it. The entirety of the multiverse is being torn apart. Batman has investigated everything. Every adversary and enemy has been accounted for. They've exhausted all possible reasons why the multiverse is in this kind of danger. Suddenly, Mr. Terrific starts receiving definitive readings about the cause of the reality collapse. The one responsible for all of this is Superman. The Man of Steel is the anomaly in the multiverse. He isn't supposed to be here. His very presence seems to be degrading the space-time continuum around him. Superman tells Batman this is impossible. He doesn't know what's going on, but the machine must be wrong. Batman believes him, but there's something he has to do. Before he can continue speaking, everyone in the Hall of Justice, including the Hall of Justice itself, begins turning to dust. The Bat family starts to perish. Batman watches Damian die right in front of his eyes. He can't bear it. Superman apologizes. He doesn't know what's happening, but together they'll figure it out. Left with no other choice, Batman punches Superman. There's something strange about all of this. Lois can't believe Superman is bleeding. And well, why does Superman have blood on his face? It's because Batman was wearing a kryptonite ring. Now he tells Superman to get ready for what's coming. Justice League members Hal Jordan, Flash, and Wonder Woman tried to stop him, but they too suffered the same fate and turned to dust. Superman grabs Lois to leave this place. This can't be real. Batman dares Superman to fly away. He'll find him. He has countless ways to defeat him, and he'll use them all. Midway through the story, Mr. Mix-Mxyzptlk asks why Batman is talking like a supervillain. Bat-Mite tells him that's just how things are and to keep quiet. They're getting to the good part. The part where Batman uses Red Sun weapons. There are battles involving bat armors, and of course, he uses magic. Not to mention doomsday formulas. The imp tells Bat-Mite none of these can defeat Superman. But obviously, the Bat thinks otherwise. Superman begs Batman to stop. This can't be right. He knows they have to work together to save the multiverse, to bring back their friends and allies. They've both lost so much, and fighting won't bring them back. Batman says all he knows is that his family is already dead. Billions more will follow unless he defeats Superman. The battle continues, and Superman pleads with Batman to stop. But the Bat is using a kryptonite tank, and takes the opportunity to ask Superman if he has any idea how hard it was to build a tank out of kryptonite. Clark tells him this isn't real. He can feel it in his gut. Someone is controlling them. Someone wants them to fight. Superman is going to put an end to this. Before Clark can go anywhere, Batman tells him this isn't over. He never thought he'd have to use this, but Superman has left him no choice. Batman pulls out a device, and Superman desperately begs him to wait. And what is this device? It's Batman's ultimate contingency plan. Solar satellites launched years ago for one purpose and one purpose only: to turn the yellow sun red. Now Superman is just a human as they plummet through the skies. And so, once Superman loses his powers and becomes human, he begins to fall alongside Batman. In this way, the Bat has won. The story ends, and Mr. Mxyzptlk can't believe Batman also died. How can that be called a victory? And anyway, did Bat-Mite ever consider what turning the sun red would do to the world? For Bat-Mite, that doesn't matter. It's cool. Mr. Mxyzptlk tells him Superman didn't lose. He sacrificed himself before endangering the multiverse in that way. And really, is Superman truly the anomaly that breaks reality in this story? It all feels so contrived. Bat-Mite responds that his Boy Scout doesn't have what it takes to win. Enough is enough. He needs to step aside because now it's time to start his story, and this is going to be really easy. His story is called The Dark Knight Dies. It all begins with Superman landing a hard punch on Batman. Boom! Batman is taken out and killed instantly. Bat-Mite immediately protests, accusing the imp of not creating a real story, just skipping the context. This makes it boring. Mr. Mxyzptlk agrees to restart. This time, Superman attacks Batman with his heat vision. The Dark Knight needs to get to safety, and as he exits the Batmobile, he uses his batarangs to attack Superman. Superman easily destroys them with his heat vision. This is way too easy. What Superman didn't realize is that the batarangs were laced with kryptonite, so destroying them causes him some damage. That was definitely a good trick. Superman tells Batman to go ahead and run, but it won't matter. He can hear Batman's heartbeat racing faster and faster. Batman always thinks he's smarter than Superman. What Batman forgets is that Superman is much faster than he is. Superman uses his X-ray vision and confirms Batman no longer has any kryptonite left. There are no more surprises. All his little gadgets are useless against him. It's over. Batman tells him to slow down and think for a moment. Why are they fighting? Superman responds that it's because Batman turned the sun red. But the Bat has no idea what's going on. In this situation, Batman activates the anti-Boy Scout protocol. Unfortunately for the Dark Knight, Mr. Mxyzptlk doesn't believe Batman should be in control of the narrative. So, as the story's page turns, they're suddenly transported to the Fortress of Solitude. Superman is hit with a small electrical shock. Batman tells him it's just a mild concussion, but it should be enough to stop him. That was a kryptonite shock, a clever move. Superman should have known Batman would hide his toys even in Superman's own home. But that doesn't matter. Two can play this game. Suddenly, the statues of Superman's parents begin to move. Batman warns Superman to stay away from their son. Superman is baffled. These statues can't move. What's happening? Batman pleads with Superman to listen to him. These aren't real. None of this is happening. Something is clouding his mind. Batman realizes it must be the Kryptonian globe. That's what happens when you turn the sun red. Batman asks Superman what's the last thing he remembers before they started fighting. Superman recalls being in the Batcave. Now they both realize it. Someone is playing with reality. It must be Mr. Mxyzptlk, who suddenly appears. The imp tells Superman that Batman is cheating, and Superman should already know what happens to cheaters. It's time for this story to end. Superman takes Batman and, at maximum speed, flies him into space, hurling him toward the sun. In this way, Superman wins. When the story ends, we return to the fifth dimension. Bat-Mite accuses Mr. Mxyzptlk of cheating. He even stole the idea of using the sun and some of Batman's gadgets. Superman interjects, saying neither of them won. Both of their stories were rigged from the start, so they don't count. Mr. Mxyzptlk throws the action figures aside, frustrated. He says they'll either play his game or he'll melt their plastic. Bat-Mite asks who would actually win in a fight. Batman says it's just a hypothetical. They never actually fight each other. They always find another way. He points out how far Mix-Mxyzptlk and Bat-Mite had to go to manipulate them into fighting. They had to control them, which means they weren't acting of their own free will. In reality, it was Mix-Mxyzptlk and Bat-Mite who were fighting. Suddenly, Batman and Superman's friends reappear in the Batcave. Superman remarks that they've just been transformed into action figures in some kind of cosmic game. Since they're being serious now, Superman asks Batman if he really did program a failsafe to stop him inside the Fortress of Solitude. Batman replies that it was all a bluff. Superman doesn't need to believe what he saw. Now, they need to figure out a way to block the fifth dimension's interference. It's only a matter of time before Mix-Mxyzptlk and Bat-Mite spiral out of control again. Superman reminds him that they're gods. Batman asks if that doesn't worry him. Superman says deep down, he knows they'd never actually fight. And even Mix-Mxyzptlk and Bat-Mite wouldn't truly fight them either. Because they're fans of Batman and Superman, fans of their world. They can't live without them. That means Batman and Superman mean everything to them. It makes you wonder, how far would fans go just to feel like they're part of the story? Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm TJ Prime, and see you in the next video.